three, got it! Oh, baby!
It's a goal, the Stanley Cup to the Chicago Blackhawks.
You can put it on the board! Yes!
Welcome one, welcome all to the final Sports Zone of the year. I am Mitch Schaefer.
And I'm Stephen Nicholas. For the first time in 51 years, the NFL Draft was held in Chicago. To put that into perspective, when the draft was held, there were only 14 teams in the NFL, and there were 20 rounds instead of the current format of 7.
The Sports Zone was there to hear which players would hear their names called and have their dreams come true.
Chicago was looking to pull out all of the stops for its first draft in half a century. Grant Park was the site of NFL Draft Town where fans and some reporters could see how they would measure up versus NFL athletes. Hours later, it was time to introduce the stars of the show. In just a short while, NFL draft prospects and their mothers will make their way down the NFL Draft gold carpet. It will be their final walk as college players before taking the NFL draft stage and officially becoming professional players. Players shed no expense in making themselves stand out on the gold carpet. Some players weren't shy in expressing their interest in playing for the hometown team.
I'll be excited. I don't have to fly anywhere. I'll be right here.
It'll be pretty awesome. I have family nearby.
That was very cool. I mean, the Windy City, it's a great atmosphere here, and I'm glad they had it here this year.
Kevin White, the player most associated with the Bears in mock drafts, was not shy about his interest in playing for Chicago.
That'd be very great. I think I'll have a lot of fun here. I think I can help the offense move the chains. I'm going to work hard and do what I have to do, whether that's on special teams or offense.
All right. Have you received a draft promise from any team, whether it be the Bears or anybody else?
No, I wish I did, so I can have, so I know where I'm going, or have at least a hint. But no, I have no clue at all.
All right. If it was your choice, who would you go to?
For whoever picked me.
Do you think you're going to go top 10, top 15?
But what is it? 32 teams in the NFL?
Yeah.
Top 32 then. So we'll see. I ain't making no promise. No expectations. I'm just happy and it's an honor to be here.
As the draft neared, it was time to head inside to see whose name the Bears would call.
With the 7th pick in the 2015 NFL Draft, the Chicago Bears select Kevin White.
The newest Chicago Bear is a Cinderella story that has no plans of slowing down the hard work that got him where he is today.
I've been through so much. I was never given anything. You know, even in high school, I wasn't a star until my senior year, and I wouldn't call myself a star. Junior college, missing 2 seasons, and then having to produce the last year and final year. And then, junior year at West Virginia, there's a whole bunch of things going on. But so I'm very determined. I want to prove a lot of people wrong.
For TV 10 News, I'm Stephen Nicholas.
The location of next year's NFL Draft is yet to be determined, but it's safe to say that Chicago made a strong impression to have it again in the future.
And before embarking on the journey of a lifetime, some of the NFL draft prospects paid a visit to see some of their younger fans. The Sports Zone was there to bring you this story.
Imagine one of your best days ever. For the children at Shriners Hospital in Chicago, Thursday morning was one of those days. NFL draft prospects visited the children at Shriners to hang out with the patients, participate in some activities, and make some crafts. With just a few hours before they were expected to get the call of their life, this was a great way for the players to calm some nerves.
Our kids were so excited to have them. They couldn't wait to get here. When they partnered up with their football players, they just really bonded. It just was an automatic, natural thing. These draft guys were just really great with our kids, and they just had a lot of fun, just working the obstacle course and doing a great thing.
And it was a great way for everyone to get moving and get active. One of the big objectives Shriners is trying to complete is getting their patients more active. And of course, with future NFL players in the building, they had to show off some of their skills.
We're really trying to encourage our kids to move more and be more active and be healthier. And this was a great thing to prove to our kids, hey, we got their football players and interacting with you. Let's keep moving and let's get healthy and support our teams.
Towards the end of the visit, there wasn't a face in the building that didn't have a smile on it. But don't take my word for it.
So, on a scale of 1 to 10, Brandon, how much fun did you have?
That's a tough choice right there. I would probably say 5. Well, I'll give it a 7.
7 out of 10?
Aww.
You seem like you were having quite a bit of fun out there.
Okay, 10.
10? Maybe 12?
Okay, let's make it 12.
After a long day of action, the children here at Shriners Hospital seem like they're just as ready to play as the future NFL players. For TV 10 News, I'm Mitch Schaefer.
Now that the draft is over, Shriners and the kids at the hospital are hoping that some new NFL players will come visit them.
The Normal West Wildcats baseball team was back on the diamond against a hometown rival and the U-High Pioneers in the Michael Collins baseball tournament. TV 10's Sean Long has the story.
Ever wear number 19. It was a heartwarming day at the Corn Crib, as the day, and really the whole weekend, was about Michael Collins. The game started with a heartwarming speech from the announcer going back through Michael's life and what a big part baseball was in his life. A speech which ended in retiring the number 19 on the Normal West baseball team.
It's just a great tribute. You know, he loved playing at Normal West. Like they said in the introduction, he coached with me at U-High, but he was always a Wildcat at heart, and so he loved playing there. And so having his jersey, knowing nobody will wear 19, and having that fence on the wall means the world.
With both teams having a big impact on Michael Collins' life, they both came out playing hard, honoring his name. It has been such an honor to his family.
Well, it's just a great way for us to remember him. He loved playing baseball. He loved playing baseball here at the Corn Crib, and so it's just just a great way for us to kind of honor God and remember Michael. I just feel his presence here. We got a plaque out front, sign on the fence, a seat over at the third base dugout. So
Michael's dad, Jim Collins, was not picking a side in this matchup.
I am playing it completely neutral.
It didn't really matter the outcome of the game. What really mattered was both teams playing hard for Michael Collins.
U-High would end up taking this game 13-6.
For TV 10 News, I'm Sean Long.
It was a very emotional weekend that the Collins family greatly appreciated.
The Redbirds came out on top with a win over SIUE in the final game of a 4-game series Sunday. TV 10's Alyssa Ortiz has more.
The Redbirds gave the Cougars a run for their money on Sunday's game with the final score of 7-1. Their success on the field was from great batting and pitching. Dennis Colon managed to get 2 RBIs in the second inning, which gave the Birds a 5-run lead early in the game. But the real star was pitcher Steven Heilenbach, who gave up an impressive 2 hits until the 9th inning when it became 4.
They were a free-swinging team, so really I just had to rely on my defense because I wouldn't get deep into counts really. They just would hit the ball, and I guess my teammates would make the plays for me.
The Redbirds got another run in the 7th inning and finished strong with a home run during the 8th. Sunday's victory sealed a 3-1 series win over SIUE as the Redbirds recovered from a 4-1 loss on Friday.
I thought we swung the bat pretty well overall. I thought we pitched it very well in games 2 and game 4. And as long as we continue to get that kind of production from our pitchers and have good offensive approaches, we'll be a tough team to beat down the stretch.
The Redbirds used their hot bats to take 3 out of 4 games from SIUE this weekend, which improved their record to 24-22. With TV 10 News, Alyssa Ortiz.
Good afternoon and welcome to the Redbird Zone. I am Tyler Merritt. The Illinois State softball team had a tough outing this weekend at Drake in their final series of the season. The Redbirds dropped both games of Saturday's doubleheader without scoring a run, but on Sunday, Reagan Romchek was just too much for the Bulldogs. Complete game victory, her 13th of the season, giving up only 1 earned run and striking out a season-high 11 batters. And in the only outdoor home meet of the season, Illinois State track and field put together some strong performances. Senior pole vaulter Chase Pavlonis set a school outdoor record with a mark of 17 feet 1 inch and vaulted himself into a spot in the NCAA first round competition. A couple other individuals ran away with personal bests, including Anderson Devonish, who ran a 20.72 in the 200-meter, which made for 5th best on ISU all-time list, and Kyle Mattis, who ran the 5,000-meter in 15 minutes and 18.92 seconds. And last in the 5th round, with the 173rd overall pick of the NFL Draft, the Kansas City Chiefs selected ISU tight end James O'Shaughnessy. O'Shaughnessy was the only Redbird taken in the NFL Draft, but 4 other players agreed to free agent contracts shortly after the draft. Mike Lidke, Jermaine Barton, Braden Pratt, all of them signed with AFC teams, and Cameron Meredith signed with the Chicago Bears. Redbird long snapper Chris Hyland did not receive a contract offer, but has been invited to Houston and New Orleans mini camps. And coming up after the break, see which horse would take home the coveted Kentucky Derby crown and see who would win in the fight of the decade. All of that and more coming up after the break.
After 5 years of patiently waiting, fans finally got what they had been asking for. Manny Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather squared off in what many were calling the fight of the decade. It was a pretty lofty price to pay if you want to watch this one. As you see, Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao touch gloves there. And Mayweather gets to start with a big hit, but then later on, you're going to see what I really consider to be the highlight of the match, and this is going to be Manny Pacquiao. He just starts throwing a bunch of punches in the ribs, towards the face. Not many of them are connecting, but that really tells you the story of this one. It wasn't that exciting. Mayweather responds there with a couple big hits to the face, and Floyd Mayweather would go on to win this one in a unanimous decision.
The 2015 Derby brought some of the best competition we have seen in years, led by 2 horses, American Pharoah and Dortmund, one who has never been beaten and the other who took home the Derby trophy last year. The catch, both horses were trained by the same person. Trained by Bob Baffert, trainer of American Pharoah, going for his 4th title. You can see here with 200 yards left, American Pharoah firing line. We're nose to nose with Dortmund right there, but with 100 yards left, American Pharoah just starts running away with it. He would win there by an entire head, and Bob Baffert is a very happy man, winning his 4th Kentucky Derby as a trainer. Coming up after the break, Sam is going to sit down with an ISU alum who has NFL dreams and some SportsZone pedigree in the background.
And later, we will be bringing you all these Chicago sports highlights from the week that was. Stay tuned. Welcome into this week's SportsZone Sit Down. I'm Sam Ostrowski. We have talked a lot about the NFL Draft, and the Redbirds have made it to the big show. One of those Redbirds has received an invite to the Houston Texans and New Orleans Saints minicamps. This player is also a former TV10 member, in fact, and it is long snapper Chris Hyland. So, Chris, thanks a lot for being on the show today.
Well, thank you very much for having me back.
It's great to have you back, man.
I know,
yeah,
it's exciting,
been a while.
isn't it? Yeah.
I mean, it's been a few months. I mean, how have you really been able to stay in football shape, if you will? I mean, a lot's been happening lately.
Yeah, it's been a very crazy couple of months. After the national championship was over, pretty much that same week, I think I took 2 or 3 days off, but that very same week I was in the weight room here at Illinois State talking to our strength and conditioning staff, talking about a plan that we could put together over the next few months to get ready for a pro day, and then obviously the NFL draft. So I worked out here at Illinois State. A lot of guys chose to go other places, but I thought staying here was the best thing for me, and worked out here with our strength and conditioning coach, Coach Lathrop, who's a great guy. He got me ready for the Northwestern Pro Day. I went up to an Evanston and then also our pro day here at Illinois State. Those went well, and things kind of fell into place after that.
And a couple players, one got drafted, a couple already offers to other teams. Have you been able to talk to any of those guys?
I reached out to James on Saturday. I told him congratulations as soon as his pick was in. It took him a while to get back to me, but that's understandable. I'm sure that his phone was blowing up for a while, but he was able to get back to me, and he and I talked a little bit. James is a great friend, and he's a really good guy. He's a better guy than he is a football player. So Kansas City's getting a very good one. I haven't been able to talk to any of the other guys. It's been kind of a crazy process for myself as well as them, obviously. And so, but I know that they'll all do well. I knew that a lot of them would get offers. Mike's a really great guy. He's a fantastic tackle for us, but I think he'll transition to kind of an inside lineman in the NFL for Miami. Braden, obviously, I think will do well in Pittsburgh, where they pride themselves on defense, and then Jermaine and Cam getting to play for your hometown team, the Chicago Bears. I mean, what can be better than that? Yeah. So he's in a very good position.
Yeah, definitely a huge deal for them, but definitely a big deal for you as well.
Yeah.
2 invites to 2 different mini camps. So kind of talk us through that. How did it happen, and what's going to be happening this next weekend?
Well, it's kind of crazy. I mean, the draft ended at about 5:30 or so on Saturday, but my phone started ringing at about 3. A couple of different teams had contacted me. I had actually been in contact with about 8 or 9 teams before the draft started. The Miami Dolphins came up here to work me out in a private workout a couple of weeks ago. And the first call I got was from the Washington Redskins, who I hadn't talked to at all. So that's kind of how this works, is, you never know exactly what's going to happen. But Washington reached out to me. They said they had one more pick left, and obviously if it was a best-case scenario for me, everyone else was off their board. It could have been me in the 7th round, but it just didn't work out that way. They had other needs they needed at the time. And then by the time they called back, I had also received calls from the Dolphins, the Texans, and the New Orleans Saints. And after talking to my agent, we decided that New Orleans and Houston were probably the best offers for me, just the way with their long snappers, their longevity, and the contracts and the way they work out. I think I'll have the best chance to compete in New Orleans and Houston.
And has NFL always kind of been the goal for you?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, anyone who puts on the pads, regardless of what age you are, you always want to play in the NFL. You always want to play on Sundays, and hopefully I can make that dream a reality.
All right, and I just want to really quick confirm the rumors. Did you get engaged?
Yes, I did. I got engaged. I had unfortunately been neglecting doing that. I wanted to do it a lot sooner, but that Illinois State football team just kept winning in the fall, and I didn't have any free weekends to do it. But I finally got that done earlier this spring.
Well, there you have it. First on the Sports Zone, Chris Highland is off the market. I'm sorry, ladies. So again, thank you very much for coming on the show, Chris. We really appreciate it, and we really appreciate everything you've done for us here at TV10. I know a lot of us working today wouldn't be as good if it weren't for you.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it.
And nothing but the best of luck to you in the next couple of weeks. And coming up after the break, see if the Cubs could pull closer to first place over the weekend, and see if the Blackhawks could extend their series advantage versus the Minnesota Wild. Don't turn that dial.
Welcome back to the Sports Zone. Chicago had a very busy week in the sports world this weekend, and that includes the Chicago White Sox, who are taking on the Minnesota Twins. And the Sox, they've been struggling of late and needed a win to get back on track. John Danks will be on the mound for the White Sox here, and it would not start well as he gives up a bases loaded, a grand slam there to Trevor Plouffe to give the Twins a quick 4-0 lead in the 3rd. And it's still in the 3rd, and the bases are once again loaded when Danny Santana hits this single right through the right side there. 2 more runs are going to score, and now it is a 6-0 Twins lead. Later on, it's 11-2 now, and they just keep piling it on. Kenny Vargas with a solo shot to the deepest part of the field there, home run. That's his 2nd home run of the season, and that pretty much says it all. Sox fans do not want to be seen. They are not exceeding expectations right now. They are way below them.
And the Cubs are playing the Brewers at Wrigley Field. Bleachers still not done, but Aramis Ramirez, the former Cubs 3rd baseman, going to hit one into left field for the solo home run, giving the Brewers the early lead. This is Carlos Gomez hitting that one into the gap, giving Milwaukee the lead after a 1-1 tie. Trying to make the throw out from Soler in right field, but couldn't get it done. This is the rookie Chris Bryan. He's been doing it all. Gets a little bit of help from 2nd baseman Jonathan Herrera, who can't make the catch. Cubs tie it up, but it's the former Cubs 3rd baseman, once again, Aramis Ramirez, lining that one down the left field line, giving Milwaukee the lead and putting them up 5-3, and they would end up closing this one. Again, Aramis Ramirez making the catch at 3rd base.
He's all over the place.
And Cubs wish they had him in this one as the Brewers pull it out.
They sure do. And the Blackhawks were playing last night, and they were looking to push their series advantage to 2-0. Like we said, the Blackhawks took the first one in Chicago, 2nd one still in the United Center, and here's Marian Hossa to Jonathan Taves. That just seems to be one of the best lines in the NHL. They get it done every time. The veterans, here you see it, Jonathan Taves easily putting it in the back of the net after a beautiful pass from Marian Hossa. Hawks go up 1-0.
Taves scores. You know who's going to score next?
Kaner, Patrick Kane. Why you cannot give him a wide open lane. He's going to get it every time. Injury or no injury, he looks 100% healthy. Hawks up 2-1. Patrick Sharp wanting more of a comfort lead. He gets it, putting them up 3-1 now. and the Blackhawks go on to win 4-1 and now push their lead in the series 2-0, and they will head to Minnesota tomorrow night.
The Bulls continue their playoff action tonight versus the Cavaliers. The Cavs, one of the top teams in the league, but will be without two key contributors. Kevin Love will miss the series for the next 4 to 6 months with a severe shoulder injury, and J.R. Smith will miss the first 2 games of the series after being suspended for hitting Jay Crowder in the face in Game 4 of the Cavs series sweep versus the Celtics. The teams tip off tonight at 6 p.m. So, Steven, Tyler, Sam, how do you think the Bulls are going to do against the Cavs this series? Steven, you first.
I think that having Kevin Love and J.R. Smith out definitely helps. I didn't like the Bulls' chances at first. Now I do.
I mean, I don't know. LeBron's tough. They can never beat LeBron, it seems. It's going to be hard.
Bulls are going to win. I think they're going to beat the Cavs.
That's fair. Coming up after the break, we will give the top plays of the year in the world of sports.
And not to be outdone, we'll have our top blunders of the year as well. Don't miss it.
And welcome back to the Sports Zone. We're nearing the end of the show, so of course it's that time. And in honor of arguably the best part of the show, we have top plays from the entire year so far. But first, we picked out some blunders for you, some of the best blunders of all time.
And this one is my all-time favorite. Joey Crawford making the charge call, dancing across. I mean, he's got better moves than I do on a Friday night.
I think he does. Look at that high step. In the second one, we're going old school baseball here. That is Larry Walker as an expo, catches it, thinks it's the third out, gives the ball to a kid. How nice. Takes a couple steps. What is this? It is not the third out. He has to go back, rip the ball out of the kid's hands, and throw it in before a run is scored.
He should have just played it off.
He should have.
Oh, poor kid. But an even poor kid, Mitchell Skiba, not doing good for our name, Mitch. He's a defenseman for Alpena Flyers. He received a misconduct in this game and just clotheslined. We're going to go reverse here for a second. Watch it again. He's trying to hit his... just clotheslines himself.
And now our top 3 plays of the year, and this is the coach's son,
R.J. Hunter,
putting that one into the net, and the coach father can't believe it.
Sam, I remember watching that with you in class.
We weren't in class, Mitch.
Oh, no,
moving on.
In class.
We are and going on to the NBA. Steph Curry with the unbelievable move on Chris Paul, and Chris Paul is not a bad defensive player, so Steph Curry, really, you get a better look at it there. That is why he is this year's MVP.
And now our number 1 play of the year goes to Odell Beckham Jr. with that catch, the fingertips. He only needed 3. He grabs it, gets the touchdown. What a play. Let's get another look at this one. How does he catch that? He is not human. I can't believe that.
Unbelievable.
That flag is for a nasty catch. That's what that was.
Let's have a dance.
And that just about does it for the Sports Zone.
Man, that's sad.
It's a little devastating.
It is a little devastating.
Steven will be here next
year.
I'll
carry Steven will be here. Yeah, I got this, guys.
Steven carrying the boat. Mitch gone. Sam gone. Tyler gone. Steven.
Well, I'll keep it going for you guys.
We just want to thank everyone that's watched the show and everyone behind the scenes who's really helped us. Laura, Bob, Rob, you name it. We love all of you in there.
Hey,
really appreciate everything you've done for us. Danny. So, again, thank you. And that really does it for you guys. So, for Mitch Schaefer, Tyler Merritt, and Stephen Nichols, who will be here next year, I'm Sam Ostrowski.